Talk about what happened between Channel 31 and owning your own station. So you leave, you and MD can't come to an agreement on your contract. What happens next? What'd you do next?
Well, there ain't much time to think about something. You got to, I immediately called Channel 15, the owners over there, and said, hey, you selling me some time? So I met with them. They were an NBC affiliate.
Again, you're talking about buying. You're putting your own money up front. I want to make sure we get that part.
So I went in there and worked out a deal to buy 6 o'clock in the morning. I would leave every morning at 4. I had 10 acres on the other side of Hampton Cove. I just built a big house.
Okay.
Hampton Cove wasn't there yet.
That's when it was Big Cove.
It was Big Cove. I'd built a house over there on Cherry Tree Road, which is still there. And it took me exactly 1 hour and a half to get to Florence. I'd get there at 5:30 and go through the paper right quick, and then we'd do a show at 6.
Was it just you?
I just hired a guy. No. When I was making all that money at 31, I just hired a guy named John Saylor, who just graduated from the University of Alabama.
Okay.
Agreed to pay him $400 a week. That's pretty good for a guy out of college.
Right out of college, yeah.
So I leave. I just hired him. So I had to honor my word. So I think he moved to Florence, an apartment. We leased an office building or a little place. We start calling on people. Start doing it, getting advertisers, start doing the show. And I don't have every show recorded over there like I do since we've been on our own deal. But we recorded a lot of them. And I used to do some stupid stuff, but I got everybody involved, just like I'm doing in Athens. I get the mayors involved, everybody.
Yeah, you understand that if you're going to broadcast in that community, you have to be a part of that community.
It's like local and loving it, which is our slogan now.
Right.
Where else are they going to get on TV?
Yeah.
And we're on one of the cable systems in Florence now. I wish we were on the bigger one. And we may get there eventually, but people still need an outlet.
Sure.
And that's one of the weaknesses I have here. I don't get out enough anymore because I'm just comfortable with what I got.
Yeah.
People still need a way to come in and be on TV. We're not going to do a Benny Carl morning show, obviously, but it's still a way for kids to get on TV. We're your only outlet.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want the hustle station, if they have time for you. They're going to give you maybe a minute. Here we can give you 5 or 10.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can put it on YouTube or whatever, but it's also something, hey, I was on Jamie Cooper's show once.
Yeah, I've done interviews on other stations, and, one of them was like a minute and a half, and the other one I think was 4.
And all they're doing is they don't care nothing about you. They're just getting you in and out.
Right, that was it. When I was
the one feeling we get now, and Gloria gets most of the cause, is y'all make us feel like we're part of, looks like the people we had on yesterday from never heard us before, came up from Birmingham.
Okay.
And they said, we felt like we were part of the whole deal when we walked in, because everybody's so comfortable in here.
It's a sense of community, and for those that have never been in the studio, the first time I walked in to do the show, I'd never been in here. So what people don't realize is when they pull up to the office building, it looks just like a normal office building, and you open the door, and it's the studio.
Most people in Athens, I say most, but a lot of people in Athens don't even know what we have here.
Yeah, and it's just super nice studio.
It's like a living room. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But it's just really, really well done. So let's get back to Florence. You're doing basically the same type of show that you do now.
Yeah, I used to do some more stupider things back in those days.
Yeah.
And 2 of those things, if you want me to tell you.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I've got is.
One of them, a guy came in, a singer, made a lot of people mad. They said it grossed him out. Had a basset hound. Well, the basset hound would lick milk. If he laid flat on his back, would lay milk out of his mouth. He was a singer. I said, well, let me try it. So I lay down, and I've got this. I'll have to find it. I lay down, pour milk in my mouth, and let that basset hound
Jamie
lick
you did
milk. Oh, yeah.
Jamie.
Yeah, and the guy, and people complain all the time. I can't believe he grossed me out like that. And the other thing I did, and this guy's still alive, Corky Wimberly, he's known for throwing a hatchet, left-handed. So I backed up about here to there where that clock. He got back here. A motorcycle cop was on the show that day, so I put his helmet on, put a balloon and a cigarette in my mouth, and I let that guy throw a hatchet at me and knock that cigarette out on live TV.
Why is the question?
Because somebody's going to say, why did you do that?
Exactly. You understood the value of a kind of a shocker or a wow moment.
No, I was just stupid.
But you wouldn't have done it if you didn't think there was value to it.
Well, it was shock, all right.
Right.
But people, some people still remember that today. I even went over there once before I met Gloria with another girl over at his house, showed up one Sunday, let him do it again, and had somebody never run the camera before do it. That's proved to her I could do it.
And nobody told you to do that. You just sort of instinctively
Nobody's ever
knew.
told me really to do anything.
You just figured it out.
You know, the question is, don't tell me to do something. I'll do it my way.
So how long?
It's just like, okay, Bill Donovan, who we both know.
Right.
And I told you this story the other day.
Yeah.
When I bought time from him, next door in the ZYP basement, we was in a place about as big as this whole set here, and I said something about sex one morning. We bought time from him. I get a message, Bill wants to see you in his office. I said, what the? So we go up there, and Bill, you know, not known for being the most charming guy around.
True.
He's kind of like Hitler. You sitting there, you're scared to death. What is it, Bill? I don't want you saying sex on my airways. You don't want me saying sex. I'm paying you $1,000 a week here at Buzztown. No. I said, well, what do you want me to say? Well, you need to say something like eating crackers. I said, eating crackers? So I'm going to be eating crackers tonight or something like, you know.
Did you actually ever say that on the air? Or did you just keep saying sex?
Well, after I bought it from him, then I told the real story. You know, I'm saying sex, he can take all the eating crackers you want, but...
So you stay in Florence.
Yeah, for 15
Were you still
months.
doing it but when you bought the station from Bill?
No, I done moved to... I was back in Florence the second time when I bought the station from Bill.
Oh, okay.
I went to... 48 was number 3 station in the market then. They're number 1 now. I said, this ain't going to work for me. It's too far over here in Florence. I need to be back on a big station. So I kept calling 48. So the guy finally lined up a meeting with us. So we walk in there. And I told the guy, my ego was still bigger than it should have been. And I said, this is to Lee Brantley, was the general manager.
Okay.
I said, you need me. You're number 3 in the market. You could use me. You need me. He said, why don't you get out of my office? Really threw me out of his office. Me, the sales guy at 48 was my buddy, Pete Farrell, and the general manager there. And they threw me out and said, leave. I said, okay. I called him the next morning. Lee, I still want to buy time. I called him every day for like a month. He agreed to sell me time.
Just so you quit calling him?
I don't know. But he later used that in his sales office. Jamie kept after me.
Why did you keep calling him every day?
Because I wanted to be on there. I knew I had something of value they could use.
Why? Obviously, you couldn't go back to 31, but why not Channel 19? Why 48? Because they were third in the market?
They were number 3. They needed somebody, and they had the time.
And that was the way you thought, that was the value
and I
you thought
there,
you could bring to them.
But it was very expensive. And the more they started doing newscasts earlier and earlier, the less my time was. I went down from an hour to a half, 35 minutes. It used to come on at 4:55 because somehow NBC had a break like that. But it worked. It paid the bills.
Yeah.
Then I went from there to Florence.
To the same back to the same station?
Well, they had sold and had new owners, and then they were about to become into Huntsville too.
Okay.
So then we bought time over there, and then we had a lot of ugly stuff happen over there, but I don't need to go into that.
But everything falls apart in Florence.
And then we came here.
So everything falls apart in Florence.
Well, everything was fine.
Yeah. But anyway, you're leaving Florence.
There were some bad people that we got involved with, and we survived.
Right. We don't have to talk about that. But so you have a conversation with Bill Donovan. And
well,
again,
Bill called me.
For those who some of you are watching this and ones of you who are listening to it, Bill is going to be a guest on the podcast. I'm doing him in a couple of weeks. Bill was a part of a family radio station that ended up, I think he had 3 here and 1 in
probably the smartest man
Tuscaloosa
I've ever dealt with.
and 1 in Mississippi because my wife worked for him. So great businessman. Had really built ZYP to an FM powerhouse in the 80s back in the day when you could really do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he understood that. So,
and it was his way or the highway. There was no negotiating.
No, it wasn't, but it was Bill's station, right? So you just understood that. So that's just some background. So now you tell your story about Bill calling you.
Well, I had looked at the station before, Gloria and I had, and I said, I'm going to be on that little old bitty dinky thing. So, yeah, I didn't think nothing else about it. He calls me, and I said, well, he was on a couple of cable systems.
Okay.
So I said, okay. So we set up a set over and worked a deal. And then April 1st of that year, which was 03 or 04, I'm thinking, whatever 11 years ago was.
03.
03. He sells it to Cumulus.
Right. He sells the radio
4 or 5,
side.
whatever you got.
Right.
And then he says, you want to buy this. If you don't, this is the price. I'm going to give it to my church. So I checked, well, it was a lot of money. It was like twice what anybody ever paid. But I was paying that kind of money anyway.
So you're already used to that kind of capital outlay.
Yeah, but to own, I said, I don't know about owning a station, but anyway, he worked it all out and helped us. And
So you end up owning owning a TV station, and
that nobody in Athens hardly knew existed.
yeah.
Nobody ever knew it, and now, we've probably quadrupled. We're in about 170,000 cable households.
So what in you decided that you were willing to take the chance of spending a ton of money on a TV station?
That wasn't a question.
What do you mean it wasn't a question?
You just had to do it. There was never, well, can we do this or not? Let's just do it.
Because the opportunity came along?
Yeah, of course, can we do this? And it was an opportunity, and we had an opportunity to make something of something that was nothing.